Well, hello there, motherfuckers, and I am here with an album review. Couple of months back, I took a look at Point Five, the Great Chapter, and we reviewed two tracks. We looked at the Devil and I and the Negative One, and I gave it a good review. And now I have had time to spend with the new album. It hasn't been officially released yet, but like all things, everything gets released eventually, gets fucking leaked out all over the internet. And Slipknot just now started releasing a lot of tracks off the albums day by day, and now YouTube is pretty much blown up with the album. Full album videos have been released, so we think everybody who wanted to hear the album has pretty much heard it already, motherfuckers. So let's be honest here. We're not all saints. We've all heard it somehow. Anyway, a lot of people actually being pretty positive for a change about this album, which is very shocking, because usually most albums are met with a lot of dismay and a lot of complaining and a lot of bitching and a lot of people just generally acting like fucking idiots on the videos and just, dissing the band, crying about how they don't sound like Iowa. Like I said, I made a video not too long ago. I love heavy metal, but heavy metal fans suck. And that stands very, very true and very, very strongly when talking about a band like Slipknot. A lot of their fans are fucking morons. Let's be honest. They're dumb, retarded people that don't really have a wide range of musical interests. They're just just a bunch of real punk ass kids, or even people my age who just really just have a fucking stick up their fucking ass, to say the fucking least. They just want to sit there all day on YouTube, no lives, nothing, not even being productive. And people probably stealing music from other people on YouTube and uploading. Those types of people spending. Then when they're not doing that, they're complaining about bands like I explained, like In Flames, sitting around all day while the band is still devoted to their fans, giving new music, experimenting with new sounds. And that's exactly what Slipknot has been trying to do all these years, as I've explained when I did my video a couple of months back when they released the two new tracks. Slipknot was trying to change their sound. From the first album, they had, really no specific real genre of metal of what they were. They were rapping on one track. They were thrashing on one track. Then there was other tracks that were just weird and unusual. They were good because they were unique, but we really didn't quite understand what Slipknot was trying to do. Then the second album, the album that everybody loves and prays to like it's fucking God or Jesus or something. I love you. I love, just they go all out for that one. It's a good album. It's a real, hard, heavy album. It's not the heaviest thing ever, like people said, compared to a lot of, death metal albums. That album really loses its heaviness, title really quickly. But, Slipknot fans, as I said, don't listen to a wide array of music. They are very close-minded people. And I know this sounds like I'm dissing the fans, but like I said, I'm a pretty big fan of Slipknot. I love them, and I have loved them for quite some time. Just reiterating this, I know people watch my past video are going to say I'm repeating myself, but I feel it's necessary when it comes to people who come here and give me shit. I have to state my case once again, that I am a really big fan of Slipknot, and I have been a fan of them since 2000 when I first heard them, and I haven't wavered since. And that's the thing, aside from what I think about Corey Taylor, aside from what I think about anybody else in the band, personalities aside, they make quality music that I enjoy. And I think that they've made a genuine effort to really try to better themselves as a band. And Iowa was a very good effort to try to hone their sound into heaviness. But then they released the third album. So, and I apologize to people who are going to talk about the album, or I'm trying to set it up, trying to, give you a lead into the video, to the review, you know, because I have to explain of why this album has a lot of emotion in it, and for me at least, people bitched, complained about Volume 3 to Subliminal Verses. Why? Why does it not sound like Iowa? Because it's not Iowa. It's, it's not Iowa. And there's not going to be another album like Iowa because there already is an Iowa. There already is an album called Iowa, and Iowa already has tracks from Iowa. There's even a track called Iowa on Iowa. So why would there be another fucking album like Iowa when there already is one? Why would we want to hear the same thing again? So Slipknot tries to do something new. They incorporate slower songs, not stone sour songs like a lot of people say, but Corey Taylor tried to implement melodies. Slipknot fans don't want to hear melodies because that's, too different from their closed-minded world. Like I said, something very similar to In Flames. They tried to be more melodic. They tried to appeal to a wider array of audiences instead of their closed-minded, fucking obsessive, loser, crazy fans. That's the thing. I'm sorry, but Slipknot and, unrelated, but sort of, In Flames, they're not there to entertain fucking nut jobs. That's not why the Corey Taylor and Jim Root didn't sit around and say, oh boy, I think we should entertain a bunch of fucking nutcases on the internet that only want to hear the same fucking 14 songs repeated over and over. That is not what they said. And they will never say that because they are not there to entertain you. Just a fucking group of, couple of 100,000 people on the internet who have nothing better to do. There's still going to be millions of people going to their fucking shows, their concert, their world tour. And they are going to enjoy their new music because they appreciate the new music they have. Now I'm going to talk about the new album. And I like it a lot. It's an album that yes, some of the songs do sound a little bit Iowa-ish. And I will talk about that. Yes, there are some songs like what how the fuck do you even say it? Like catastrophe. Catastrophe, whatever you fuck you say the name of that track. That is a very Iowa-ish track. It's not completely Iowa-ish, but I would say it's almost a mix of what they tried to do on the first album in Iowa, reminding me of songs like Sick and, a variety of tracks on Iowa. And I apologize for butchering the name of that song. But anyway, I think it's Catastrophe is how it's supposed to be pronounced. I don't fucking know. But then there are songs on this album like AOV, which I think is maybe the best song on the album. I think it's one of my favorites. It's about Volume 3 style song, which everyone's going to hate me for. Because I think that Volume 3 was, aside because I don't know, I don't want to judge this album just yet because it came out. I've listened to their 4 albums 1,000 fucking times. So, of course, when a fresher album comes out, it's very easy to say, this is the best one yet because it's new. And you haven't heard it before, so of course it's going to sound like the best thing ever to you if you're a major fan of this particular sound. But AOV is a song that incorporates the right amount of each type of element. It's enough a melodic and a little bit of that signature Slipknot heaviness that that makes the band appealing. And I think they found their true appeal on Volume 3, and I love when they incorporate more elements of that. But don't get me wrong, I still like it when they cut loose, Iowa-ish style. Don't think I'm putting that album down once again. I said I think it's a really good album. Do I think it's their best? No. And I don't think that they should continue to just make songs in that style and just everything should be shouted vocals. Everything should just be heavy, heavy, heavy the whole way through and never stop, look around for new ideas and concepts and sounds. Don't try to experiment. And they definitely do try to experiment big time on this album. Songs like Custer, they definitely experiment on this album. And once again, I still have to say, The Devil and I, that is definitely a song that I also still enjoy, and it still holds up as an amazing track for them. I think it's once again one of those perfect mixes like just they did on Volume 3 where it's the perfect amount of heaviness and it's the perfect amount of melody to make it work. So once again, this is a great album, well worth the wait, a very worthy album, and I think that they have enough Irish style songs in here to satisfy the masses without it being fucking overkill. But I'm happy that a lot of people are pretty much giving it very strong responses, and they're not dissing it just because it has Stone Sour style songs on it, guys. Fuck those people once again. And if you're gonna diss this album, there's really no point in of saying that you're a fan of this band because you're just a hater. Then they've tried really hard on this album to try to please a lot of people while not fucking kissing ass, and I like that. I like what they accomplished on this album. It's a quality album, and it's also an album that continues a lot of the great shit they were doing on All Hope Is Gone, which is another album that received a lot of shit, and it was another great album from them. I don't think Slipknot has a bad album. I really don't. And I think that this is definitely an album that is another step in the right direction. I like that 6 years went by. And this was their biggest hiatus ever. And they really have not lost a step. If anything, they might have gotten stronger. I don't know, but multiple listens need to be had to really decide those factors. Anyway, great album. 0.5, the great chapter. I enjoyed it, and I think all those motherfucking haters should just fucking kiss my ass and kiss everyone else's ass who's enjoying this album. You're just gonna keep hating and hating until the end of time. Fuck you guys. But to everyone who enjoys this album, let's enjoy it together and appreciate this great album we have received. Thank you, Slipknot. Fuck the haters.